And good afternoon, everybody. It's Laurie-Ann here, and we are back with our weekly lives, and I'm really excited for today's show. And so I'm gonna share this to my private group, and just let me know if you can hear me, as far as I can see, and let me know where you are watching from. It's always fun to see different people from around the world. Share to a group. Here we are. And let's see, this year is so far off to a really good start. I realize it's only been, a couple of weeks, 2 weeks actually, to be exact. And let's see, today we're going to be talking about Rome was not built in a day. And the reason why I picked this is because of the topic that I'm going to be discussing today. And for most of you know that I'm from the Boston area, and the Boston area had this major construction called the Big Dig that took, I don't know how long and how many millions of dollars, but if you, there was this construction sign as you were going 93 north and just as you were entering into the tunnel, and somebody with a sense of humor had this sign made with the construction company, that big orange sign, and it said Rome was not built in a day. If it was, we would have hired their contractors. And it's all about, building something and that consistency. And that's the magic word that we're going to be talking about today, is consistency. So what you're going to be learning today is how to implement some consistency, learning what activities and, just the different things that you have to do in your business on just in general. I see a lot of times, which is the reason why I wanted to talk about this, a lot of different clients that show up and, they get started and then they kind of they don't see any results. So they kind of fall off a little bit here, fall off a little bit there. They when I first started my business, when I left corporate, there wasn't Facebook. Facebook wasn't around yet. So we're talking if I wanted to send meeting planners, information on me speaking, I was sending it, DVDs in the mail. And to do that on a consistent basis is what gets you hired. So this is the big thing that I want to chit chat about today. So when you look at all the different activities that are in your business that have to get done, that you want to get done, that you should get done, I believe that they can be put into one or more categories. Those categories are daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and yearly. And so that's 5 different categories that you could put a lot of the activities that you do. You could slip them right in there. So let's just kind of chit chat about some of those, because daily, what are some of the daily activities? And I'm mostly going to be talking about online business or your regular business, but this can also be applied to your personal life as well. So daily, what do you have to do daily in your business that that maybe nobody else can do for you, and it has to be done from you? So for me, some of those activities are Facebook engagement, my group engagement. I'm the one who's got to go in there and I've got to engage. I've got to ask questions. I've got to answer questions. It really does come from me. So that's one of my things. In my personal life, I like to go to the gym, not every day, but pretty consistently. I want to say ideally I like to work out 5 to 6 days a week. I recently started Orange Theory. That's a whole nother topic. Wondering if there's any Orange Theory fans out there. It's definitely challenging me. I don't go every day. I go twice a week for that one. So meditation, practicing your mindset, and connecting with one person a day. That's another one of mine. And I also encourage that with a lot of my clients too. Can you connect with one person a day? Because that one person could be a meeting planner. Could be a conference planner, somebody that's at an event or an association that you belong to. It could be following up with one of those many business cards that could be sitting on your desk, as well as people that you've met at different events. A weekly, something that might be on that weekly list. Could be, practicing your keynote, practicing your speech for like an hour. Do you have that sort of time plugged in? A lot of my speaker friends and some of my other clients, dedicate like at least an hour to either working on writing it, writing stories, practicing it, yes, practicing it. You don't have to have an audience or a place, somebody that's hired you in order to practice your speech. You can do it like right in your home, right in your kitchen, so that when it is time, you're going to be just like you've practiced it so many times that it's going to all the words just kind of like roll off your tongue. It works really well. Other weekly tasks are maybe you need to connect with at least 2 meeting planners or conference planners a week. Starting to build that relationship and also letting them know about you and that you're available to hire, and just constantly getting out there, just constantly sending out information, connecting and building those relationships. Let's see, what else do I have down here? I have like a little list of different things that following up with potential clients and customers, I have like an hour that's dedicated. I think I have like at least once a week, and it's just called follow-up. I have like a section in my schedule of follow-up time. This way I'm not just like following up like every once in a while with people. I've got this dedicated time slot so that I know that it gets done. So monthly is just evaluating and looking at all the numbers. How much came in, how much went out, what is your Facebook, engagement numbers, your Instagram followers, all of that stuff. How many people have watched your videos? Keep going on. There's so many different numbers that you can actually keep track of. And the stuff that you keep track of is the stuff that that's just data. And being able to take the data, okay, this went down. How can I get it to go back up? What didn't I do? So looking at the data, maybe setting some goals. What's next month going to be like? What are the goals that I want? What do I want to accomplish this month? Writing blogs. Maybe you don't write them every week like you do maybe some of your Facebook content, or maybe you do write all your Facebook content or your blogs all at once. You just have an afternoon where you just sit down and you just write. Maybe that's also like a great time to repurpose stuff. Planning. I know a lot of people who plan out their entire Facebook or Instagram like at a month at a time, and they just schedule it right out. Takes a lot of stress off their plate. And then you're not scrambling every single day about what am I going to post? What am I going to put up there? What should I be saying? It's all taken care of. So again, we're talking about that consistency and just being able to show up. And all these business activities fall into one of 5 categories. Is either something that you're doing daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, or yearly. So what else could be quarterly? Quarterly could be planning. If you're a small business, maybe you're planning just either monthly or quarterly, just setting like the goals, like how many clients do I want to have? How many speaking events do I want to speak at? How much, do I want to have some sort of a program that here's the amount of income that I want to generate? Yearly, are you setting your goals? Besides paying taxes and getting all that, finalizing all your bookkeeping for your tax person, maybe there's some evaluations. I know at the end of each year, I look at all the different memberships that I'm involved with or associations, and I decide, do I want to renew again this year? Now, some of those yearly things don't happen in December. Some of those yearly things might actually happen in June or September, depending on what the activity is. Or in speaking about memberships, it might just depend on the membership site itself. But there's a lot of conferences that are also held every year. And so are you reaching out to them? Do you know, like when they start planning so that you can put that in your calendar? Is that going to be something that's going to be weekly, monthly? How are you reaching out to different people? Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither is your business. Your business is not going to be built in a day, but it will over time. And let me know if you have any questions. If you're watching the replay or you're watching live and you've got any questions, I always come back and I will answer all of the questions. So all of these activities, this is exactly what I want you to do. I want you to take all of the activities that you have to do on a daily, monthly, weekly, quarterly, yearly basis and figure them out. Put them in some sort of a list so that here's what I have to do. Here's what I need to do. Here's what I want to do in order to grow my business, in order to get booked more, to be seen as the expert in the front of the room. Here are the things that I'm going to do. It sort of takes the emotion out of your to-do list. And it just makes it a little more logical. Like, here's what I need to do. So one of the things that I tell my clients is stop waiting for motivation. Motivation comes with action. A lot of times, I see people who want to write a book. I've written several books and several workbooks, and I didn't sit down and wait for motivation. Like, when do I feel inspired to start writing? No, I just sat down and started writing. Now, I will tell you that both of my books are parables, and I would pick out the chapters that I wanted to write about that day. But I did sit down and write every day and sometimes at a certain time. So what can you do so that you're not waiting for motivation to come up to help you out, but you sit down and you do it and you go through the things that you need to do. So that's my call to action for you guys today, this week, is to start writing out that list of things that you need to go on the list, all those different activities so that you get them done. And love to know, how does that work for you? Sometimes it's the first time that my clients actually start writing some of this stuff down and didn't realize, I thought I was super busy because I was constantly scrambling, just trying to almost put out today's fire, constantly working, felt like I was on this treadmill. But then you write out all your activities and it's wow, it's not that much. Now I suddenly see it and I can organize it and I can figure out okay, the daily stuff, the weekly stuff can get done on a particular day, the monthly stuff, the quarterly stuff, etc. And let me know how that works out. And let's see, this is kind of a short episode here, and I just want to tell you what's coming up next week. Next week, we're going to be talking about building your audience with your email list and building your audience via email. And also another thing that's going to be coming up, I'm going to be having a challenge about, pitch yourself to get booked. I hear a lot of people just they don't know where to get started. And this is a great place to get started because I'm going to take you step by step to find the perfect audience, the perfect meetings, the perfect conferences where your ideal client is hanging out. That's key. If you're going to speak, you don't want to speak to some random audience. You want to speak to the right audience, the people who can refer you, the people who want to buy from you, the people who want to hire you, the people who can refer you to other groups that are similar. So it's going to be a step-by-step, and I'm going to get you to pitch yourself. And for some people that sounds a little scary, but I don't want it to be scary because just because you pitch yourself, during this challenge doesn't mean that you're going to be hired to speak the following week. We don't know when the opening is. We don't know how far in advance. But that's some of the stuff that I'm going to teach you how to figure that out. And also, if somebody says, hey, we have an opening for next week and you don't feel ready, you get to say, I'm not available next week. So this is going to be a step-by-step process to walk you through find the perfect audiences, how do you know who to actually pitch to, and what do you email them? What do you call? What do you say to them when you do this? It's going to be a step-by-step. It's going to be great. It's going to be a lot of fun. There's going to be some PDFs along with some video training and Q&A. So I'm going to do some Facebook Lives just to be available to answer any and all of your questions. I'm going to be doing all of this in my private Facebook group, Entrepreneurs Making an Impact. So if you're not in that group, feel free to jump in there and join. And also, I will be sharing with you the link to sign up for this challenge. And you'll definitely be the first to find out about the challenge inside my private Facebook group. And I hope you all have a great day. If you have any questions while you're watching this, be sure to just type them in. I will come back and I will answer every single question that's here. And I hope you all have a great week. So make sure you speak and stand out.